Hey, how you guys doing? So today I'm over at a buddy's rental property that he's about to sell, and I'm going to help him redo the floor. And so we've got this laminate flooring from Lansbury Oak, and so we'll be throwing it in. It's pretty easy. It's a free floating floor. And so in order to be able to do it, of course you're going to want to calculate the square footage, so you're going to want to use a tape measure and buy the appropriate amount plus a little bit of loss for cuts. You're going to want to have a miter saw. We have just a normal hand saw for some of the detail cutting I'm going to have to do around doorways, and a little X-Acto knife, hammer for knocking the pieces in if I have to, and of course I'm going to actually cut one of the damaged ones, and I'll show you how to do that later in the video. You're going to want a pencil and an actual square so you can get a good straight cut. Now, to start, you're going to want to clean out the surface that you're going to actually use to lay the floor so it's actually clean. Some people will lay an underflooring layer. In this case, we're not. So I've already pre-cut, and we're using like a floor pattern, which is going to repeat itself the rest of the way through this floor. And so we're going to be starting out with the full piece right here, of course. And basically, you're going to leave about an 1/8 inch gap away from the floor that's going to be taken care of when you go around and put in the trim and lock it all the way down. And so I already cut 2 of the other ones, or 3 actually, into half-size pieces, a 3/4 size piece, and a 1/4 size piece. And so it depends on you on how you like the pattern. A lot of people like to stuff one of the smaller pieces in the corner in a less walked-in area. That's actually a good idea to do, but this is all going to be pre-cornered. And so in order to do this, come in here real quick, Jasper, and I'll show you how to do this real quick. This stuff literally, if you look, has this edge on it, and we're literally going to lock that edge in like that and slap it down, making sure that it's fully closed. And so it's very simple, honestly, to put in. And so I hate to make it look hard out of nowhere. As you can see, I lock it. We don't have a crack here. If we did have a crack, we'd have to cut a piece and tap it in real quick. And so you're going to go in the first layer pretty fast, setting up the pattern. And from here, you really are just locking in full pieces until you get to the wall and make your cut. And then you're going to always bring the other end back over here to start the process the whole way through. And so we're going to get one of these full pieces in right here, and then we'll come back in a little bit further in the process. But I think you're seeing how fast and easy this is laying out for us. So as you get to the edge or towards the wall, or when you start the second row, you're going to want to have a pull bar. That's going to actually allow you to keep it spaced off the wall when you have to knock this in and stuff. And so to finish off this first row, we want to keep this going like this, right? And so literally, we're wanting this side cut to here. So we just space this to the wall, go like this, mark our mark real quick. Now we're going to come right over to our miter saw. And now my miter saw blade is not the actual width of this. And so I actually have to take more than one cut. Make sure I find the right mark, boom. But it's not that hard to make a couple cuts, to be honest. Okay, so now to finish out this piece right here, we're literally going to lock this in, make sure we're perfectly even because this is this row. We've got our little buffer. Let's scoot this like this, about right there. Get this locked a little tighter. You don't want any gaps. And so see, we finally got that gap gone right there. So now this is where we're going to start our actual second row. So when it comes to the second row, when you're throwing down this floor, it's going to be really important that you actually lock in this edge, right? Get it as even as you can. See how I've locked that in and made sure every bit of it's locked, because I don't want a gap in that for sure. Because this other edge is actually easier to get. And so we make sure we don't get a gap. Sometimes it's a little annoying, but then you're going to plop in this edge over here and make sure that you get this in the whole way. Now, this is why this is going to be really handy right here. See how it kept on moving back on me? I'm going to want to put that in and to basically keep a gap. Now, when you get the floor out further, you can actually just grab the floor and push it and pull it in and snap it in by lifting up. And I might be able to do that with this piece, and we'll check. See, I got it over there. But see how this gap right here, little spot opened up right here? So I'm gonna have to close that gap. And we've already got this piece of flooring down. And so it's kind of a good thing that we get the opportunity to show you this. Because what happens is this gap, you can't have that. And so we're gonna use this to hold it back. And then I'm gonna take and I'm gonna tap this in. And now they make a professional tool specifically for this. And it's a little block, and you can buy it. So what this is though, is this is just one of the edges I've cut from a piece of scrap. It'll wear out, but it actually allows you to tap it in without damaging this. And so don't count on this, it'll ruin the lip. And you can get these in relatively easy without doing that. So as you can see, we've got rid of the gap in all these places. We're gonna continue to build this out, and we'll have a nice little like faux-ish wood floor. So we're at the end of the day. We're finishing up the floor now. We've already went in the closet. We had to do a custom cut around this heater vent. I simply drilled holes in the corner of the piece and cut it out. You can use a keyhole saw or many other types of saws. That was I didn't notice that in the beginning. We're at this edge piece, and of course I had to custom cut around all this area here. And I did that with that little hand saw I showed you. So on this edge wall, you're going to want to get a good cut. Make sure you cut it close enough to where, you know, you're going to be able to get your trim to cover it and stuff. But you actually have to leave a big enough gap to be able to lock it in. And so that's why that Pro bar is going to actually come into place so well. And so I'm going to lock that like that. But you can see I can't really get my fingers in how you would normally lock it. And so you take this bar, slap it behind it. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab this hammer and I'm going to sit and tap it 2 times, move down, and I should have put a piece down to protect the floor so we didn't accidentally damage it. I luckily didn't damage it, but you're going to want to put something down, honestly, because I got lucky. I could have actually damaged it. And so as you can see, there's no gap. When we put the trim over, it's going to cover that gap along the wall. Plus, that's going to allow enough space for when it expands and stuff during the summer, it won't do damage. And so, honestly, from here, we throw in a few more pieces and finish it out all the same way. You'll end up with a really nice wood floor look in your room. And it's a low-cost home improvement. Hope this helps you out. Peace and very best wishes.